So we'll ask this question later on, huh?
All right.
And where is the third big question? I want you to get exhausted tonight, you know.
No, I have a lot of questions, sir, but I don't know. Hazrat, this verse in the Holy Quran,
Yes.
in Surah Al-Imran, Kuntum khaira ummatin
Ukhrijat lin-nas
ta'muruna bil ma'rufi wa tanhauna 'anil munkari wa tu'minuna billahi. Hazrat, this verse is really meant for our Jamaat. Do you agree with me, please?
What do you mean by really means for your Jamaat?
Because this verse
This verse applies in the first instance and foremost to the people of Hadhrat sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the people he created. Of course, the people physically were created by God in that sense, and even spiritually they are created by God. But I mean, he took over a people in his hands and transformed them altogether. So this, in that regard, Hadhrat Masih Maud ﷺ has also referred to this phenomenon as the creation of Hadhrat sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Like it is also mentioned in the Holy Quran that Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, created birds from clay. That is again the same reference, that he took up a material which was like clay, dead material, but with inherent qualities to produce life. So he transformed the clay into birds. The birds can fly, you know. Clay is trodden upon. Israelites, before that miracle was shown, were just, like a nation which was being trodden upon by bigger and more powerful nations, and they were just like a clay, a floor of clay, nothing more. And it was dead too. So Hadhrat Masih ﷺ, Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, took up a sample of that clay and turned into birds. That is, those who would fly in the heavenly subjects and come into contact and communion with Allah and so on. That was the meaning of that. So in the same context, I am referring to Hadhrat sallallahu alaihi wasallam having created a people. And every reference to such phenomenon, wherever it is found in the Holy Quran, first and foremost applies to that miracle of Hadhrat sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When that miracle is repeated in the latter days, as it is being repeated now, as Hadhrat Masih Maud ﷺ has pointed out, again it is initially his miracle, and it is being repeated through the agency of Masih Maud ﷺ, who can produce this, being totally subordinate to him. So whatever he does or acquires is in fact the doing and acquisition of Hadhrat sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So don't be disrespectful even by obliquely referring to these things in a manner as if you are more important than the previous people. What is more important is the fact that you should understand that after the advent of Hadhrat sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all blessings flowed from him, whether in the first instance or in the second instance of the latter days. So in this context, I didn't like the phrasing of your question at all. But otherwise, that also applies to Jamaat Ahmadiyya, of course. There is no doubt about it. And you have not translated that verse, so those who don't understand, what would they know? What would they consider we are discussing?
You are the best people raised for good of mankind. You do good deeds and forbid evil and believe in Allah.
Why is it translated, you do good deeds? Ta'muruna bil ma'ruf doesn't mean do good deeds.
This is what Malik Sahib has done.
No, this is not correct. Ta'muruna bil ma'ruf means you admonish people to do good deeds. And that shows even a higher quality of the followers of Muhammad. Here it means after they have themselves transformed their own way of life and they have started doing good deeds, they do not leave it at that. They spread the same good deeds across to other people. And the process becomes a live, progressive phenomenon. This is what is mentioned in this. So, Ta'muruna means they admonish others. It doesn't mean they do themselves do good deeds, because just doing good deeds and dying with those good deeds is not enough. There is no reproductive phenomenon involved in this. But what the Holy Quran is describing is a reproductive phenomenon. So at last we have finished with Shri Rashid Ahmed Sahib's questions, which he has been harping upon for a long, long time. Alhamdulillah, we have done with it.
I have some more, sir.
Bashir Yad Sahib, before we start saying prayer, I should like you to give some chance.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
If the time is short, I can ask a very little question.
No. Go ahead and do what you please. I'll handle it all right, inshallah.
Small question first, Hazur. Please. Will Hazur most kindly advise us if the announcement of lost or found property be made in the mosque?
Tell me, have you lost anything? Or found anything?
I lost one thing, but I found from outside. But he didn't announce here anything like that.
No, I mean, why this occurred to you, this question? Did you really need to ask this question because of something happened, or just in search of question
I
you
don't want to name
think
somebody.
of it?
I don't want to name somebody, Hazur, who will announce something, but that's why I don't want to.
So this is it. Somebody made an announcement in the mosque about some lost property, and you considered that was not proper. Is that right?
What I had heard, Hazur, long ago, anything which is lost inside the mosque can be announced, but anything which is lost outside the mosque cannot be announced inside the mosque.
You're right, absolutely right. This is why I'm asking. I was wondering why you thought of this question. I wanted to find out what had happened. So after some inquiry, you related to me that somebody did make an announcement in the mosque which you didn't consider proper, and this is why you're asking this question. Is that right?
I think
Yes,
so.
yes. So this is correct. This is not permitted that things which are lost outside should be announced in the mosque, and mosque should be made in an announcement platform where the lost property of is virtually transferred. But if you lose something within the mosque, because it is not sane to announce about things which you have lost in the mosque outside somewhere else, obviously those people who are in the mosque, they would know. So that is permitted. You're quite right. Any other question?
The currency.
Bulai, come here. Have you had to ask a question or no? No? Just came to listen? All right, please. Have you seen your brother in the Wimbledon? On television? How? You went there to see?
My cousin.
Huh?
My cousin.
You didn't see yourself? I see, right.
Hazur, before I ask this question, can I ask a question which Hazur has once
Answered already.
given the answer, but if Hazur want to add something to that answer.
As I knew, I knew what was coming. That's what he does.